Okay, let's see what's going to happen here. Okay. Just gonna light some herbs to clear the area out. That's how I always start my sessions, and having a candle lit. Spirit has been after me to do this for a few days now, but I've been a little bit under the weather, so I haven't really been up for doing readings and channeling and all of this. So, yeah. Sometimes I don't think that they really care about that. Not that they don't care about me, I just think that they will come through in under any conditions. So it's more like that. So, yeah. I'm doing a live session on my Facebook page as well as doing a video for YouTube, and so we're going to see what happens with what. Sometimes when I do these things, excuse me, sometimes when I do these things and Spirit wants me to be doing these, then they just kind of move me out of the way and be like, okay, we're going now. Ready or not, here we go. So, which is fine, something that I allow to happen, and they are aware of that. So, it's not really like it's not really like there are boundaries being crossed or whatever. It's like, you know, they know that I'm okay with that. And if I wasn't, then, you know, there would be a whole different set of circumstances going on. Just looking for a better candle here. I thought I was going to use this other one, but apparently we're not. Not really a fan of what's happening with that candle, so yeah, just gonna clear the energy of this candle. Charge it. I charge this candle with the energy of the Divine Mother and Father. Help me to connect with only the highest and the best energies and forces, and help me to send out only the highest and best energies and information for whoever it is that is willing to hear and to listen to this message. Help the messages to be clear, concise, and also healing for all, for the planet. Where's my lighter? I found this lighter online, but it's a torch basically thing, and I was using a different kind, and wasn't really like lighting so well. It started out okay, but then it wasn't. So, all right. So, like sit there like that. Okay then. Okay. First, all right. Well, I was gonna do the Facebook Live, but nobody is like showing up here. I did send out a message earlier, and people responded, but you know, it's almost 9:30 p.m. So I thought I was gonna be able to do this earlier, but you know, life happens. So there you go. Life happens. Ending. Okay. Publish. Okay. All right. Anyway, I guess we're gonna do this a little bit differently today. So, all right. So I think we'll start first of all. Get the pumps primed and see if we can get the message through the cards first. And like I said, just kind of getting things a little primed. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous doing this, and you know, it's one of those things that I don't know. For me, you just have to show up and be willing, and yeah. So grounded, stability. That's what that is about. Okay. All right. It's like Seven of Cups keeps showing up, and I thought that it had to do with. I thought that it had to do with me, but it's sitting here connected to the Queen of Pentacles, and so I think it has to do with my mother, not me. It hasn't shown up like this before. So, the Queen of Pentacles would be my mother. She's a Virgo. But the Seven of Cups is a card that I use for people that are, people that drink too much, people that are practicing escapism and that kind of a thing. And so she's having a bit of dementia issues, which could probably be advancing. It does show here about things connected to the home, stuff like that. And so, she did have to give up her home and stuff like that. She was staying with my nephew. And, but I think that this could also have to do with if she were going to a home, like a nursing facility, something like that. And then the World card, which has to do with like recognition, and then the Queen of Wands, which is fiery individual. I think that's probably her mother, because her mother was like Sagittarian and stuff, and so I think that she's the one who is bringing through this particular message. So thanks, Nani. For making that clear. I guess, yeah. So, because the World card to me is a card that it does have to do with international travel, stuff like that, but it's also a card that I use for recognition. So, like a fire sign person that I would recognize. So today is October 25th, and we're getting close to Halloween, aka Samhain. So it's getting to the point where it's the time when the veil is thinnest between this world and the next. And I do operate as a medium, so usually I'm a lot more thrown, I guess, during this time period, but I've actually been much more grounded, and which I believe is because I have been doing a lot more like meditating and a lot more being connected to spirit, and I think that they're getting ready to show up here. You start talking about them, and then they meaning like whoever my guides are, the yeah, it gets harder to talk when they start showing up. Because I don't know, I do what they call like trance channeling, and so there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of like spirit energy, a lot of people, whatever it is that you want to call it. I kind of think of it like when you see telephone wires like online, right, and they show this like the fiber optics, right, and they show this like energy source kind of coming through like that, or but it's a bigger thing to kind of like that, and so yeah, so it can be pretty intense, because it is a transmission, for lack of a better expression. That's the word that they want to use. It's a transmission, and so yeah, I was going to say, let's see if we can get a message for the planet, and I was trying to find out exactly what day today is. It's Tuesday. It's October 25th. It is 9:18 p.m. and this like rocking thing is usually what happens when they are starting to show up. I work with what I refer to as the collective. I used to be aware of 4 or 5 guides, and so they have like changed since I've been doing this. I've been doing readings for about 30 years now, and so so my guides have changed and everything like that, and the way that I do readings has changed, and so yeah, there's a lot. So let's see if we have a message for the planet, for the people of the world, for the people of the world, for the people of the world. So this is interesting. The World card shows up again. So the Moon card would suggest that things are hidden and that there will be things coming to light, and especially things connected to. So the Knight of Wands is there. It has to do with like a lot of it has to do with like with the energy of the planet, and also it's a lot about like completing a cycle. I'm being told that this is a lot about the planet in and of itself completing a cycle, and how the vibration of the planet is being lifted, and we are moving into a much more intense, it's a very much more like intense time period, and that there's going to be a lot more higher vibration type like spirit activities going on. And so a lot of people are going to start increasing. If you have psychic ability, then your psychic ability is probably going to be increasing, or it will be increasing. And if you are not aware of having psychic ability, it is probably going to start we want to be clear, we want to be exact in the messages that we are sending out. So this is not about probably, it is about people are going to start becoming more psychic. And it's not that they're becoming more psychic, it's just that it has been hidden. People have been, which is the Moon card, it's that people have been afraid of it, afraid of who they are. And so there's a lot more people, their energies being revealed, their psychic abilities being revealed, a lot of people stepping out into the light, which when we're talking about people stepping out into the light, we're talking about people stepping out into their own, people owning their own energies, people owning who they are. We are aware that there is terminology being floated about on the internet and in your movies and stuff. Your authentic selves. And so that is what we're trying to discuss. And so you have a history on your planet about being afraid to express yourselves, being afraid to be authentic. There has been a lot of abuse about people who have been different, and so there has been a lot of like fear about this. And so because there is the word that you would use is called a movement. We don't really know that that's the right word. We're searching for a word that you would understand better. Because this isn't a movement. This is about the vibration of the planet being lifted. And so the higher the vibration, the more psychic people become, the more tapped in, that they become more connected to spirit energy, and everybody is spirit. So um, your soul, your chi, your spirit, it's like this body is a house for the spirit energy. And so we're adjusting the message that was said earlier about the world card and recognition and the Queen of Wands, like his grandmother. That message is true. However, it's not exactly what we were meaning when we put that energy out through the cards. It does have to do with, the world card does have to do with that this is a completion of a cycle for the whole planet. And that card, the Seven of Cups, has to do with Edward running away. He called us to come through, but then he has all this anxiety about allowing us to come through, and so the message sometimes can be a little bit garbled. And so this is why the Seven of Cups keeps showing up for him. And the Queen of Wands has to do with his new spirit guide. She is female. We are a bigger entity. We don't have one particular vibration, male or female, because we are a lot of entities. You might call us the collective unconscious. You might call us different names in different places, but we are here and we are helping the planet to raise its vibration. We're really connecting to everybody across the planet and basically sweeping the planet with a higher vibration and clearing out a lot of the more, we don't like to use the word positive or negative because that would imply a sense of morality, and we are not about morality. We're not trying to say that these people are good and these people are bad. We're trying to say that there is a higher vibration and there is a lower vibration. And so we are helping the lower vibration entities on your planet to be lifted. And so many people, really everybody, is going, their spirit is being lifted, their energies are being lifted. There's a lot of people going through, and really everybody going through personality changes, and this is something that is affecting the whole planet. We're aiming at, in this particular message, we're aiming this at the people that you might call a lower vibration. You might call them negative. We just refer to them as people who have trouble accepting themselves. for who they are, for their light, and they just didn't know that they could have that for themselves because of their upbringing, because of their family dynamics, because of the places where they've lived and things like that. And so there's people who are going to be doing a lot of like movement. There's a lot of movement that is happening on the planet. People changing homes and family dynamics, social dynamics changing, all these kinds of things. People changing their jobs. People, when Edward does readings, he is seeing what is called the death card a lot, the tower card a lot, and so it can show up as people going through what he would call like a Saturn return, but it's not really a Saturn return. It is more what we're talking about is like the whole planet going through a vibrational shift. And because it is going through this vibrational shift, everybody on the planet is going through a vibrational shift. Like the trees, the flora, as you call it, all of the trees, plants, flowers, all of that is going through vibrational changes, and all of the animals on the planet are going through vibrational changes as well. You might experience or might be aware that there could be a lot more death on the planet, and that has to do with resistance to a vibrational upload. It is when you're at one vibration, things happen in a spiral. So we're talking about as you're at this level and you move to this level, if there is a resistance, it can be like difficult. And so there are a lot of people who can feel the change happening. They don't want to raise their vibration. They don't want to change their mentality. They don't want to they don't want to become better people. And that's the way that you would perceive it. We would not call it about anybody becoming a better person, because that has to do with morality, and we are not about morality. We are talking about how the vibration is being lifted, and so a lot of the lower vibration energy, which causes the anger, which causes the frustration, which causes the like mental health issues, which causes physical health problems, and these things can create, like the anger and the resistance to be connected to people and living better lives for themselves. So they create more health problems, and the more health problems, then they choose to leave the planet instead. So it's the expression that Edward wants to use, going with the flow. It's going with the flow of the whole planet. People want to be independent. People don't want to be part of a herd mentality. And this isn't really about a herd mentality. This is about it's about raising the vibration of the planet. It is about people helping each other. It is about people having more opportunities to help each other. It is about people being able to receive help, because a lot of the issues that people have are because they either do not have people around them, because they have become more isolated, um, fearful, not letting people in. So when they are isolated, they don't know that they have help. They think that they don't have help. There is always help available. It is a matter of whether you are open to receiving the help or not. So there is that aspect, but also people being afraid to offer help. There's apparently been a lot of hostility. So much fear on this planet, so much fear. When somebody is approaching you and they're offering you help, and then you're afraid of receiving the help. Like, what do you want? You know, what are you trying to get from me? Is this a scam? That kind of mentality, right? Victimhood mentality. And a lot of it is not. A lot of it is not about people trying to get things from you. It is not about any of that. It is that their vibration is changing, shifting. There's more of that. There have been people on the planet who are just trying to help and willing to help, and there's becoming more of that. And so it is more important for people on the planet to be open to receiving help and be open to offering help, because that is the path that the planet is on right now. So you're still allowed to have individuality. We're not trying to take anybody's freedom away. We are only signaling you, letting you know that the planet is moving in a very particular direction, because that is the vibration that has been putting out as a whole, that the whole planet has been offering a vibration about, we want something better. Individual people saying, I want something better, I want something better, I want something better, but it is everybody on the planet saying, I want something better, I want something better. So that is what is manifesting. The world is changing, the world is receiving. People have asked, it is manifesting. That is what is happening. The world is manifesting a better place to live, a better place where there is more help available. It is becoming more one-on-one help being made available. It is not necessarily coming from agencies or companies or hospitals or foundations or any of these things. Those are still available. However, over a period of time, we would say over the course of the next 20 years, not that far away, over the course of the next 20 years, a lot of these agencies are not going to be required, because there's going to be more societal help, more people stepping up, more people sharing their energies, more sharing their resources, sharing their food, sharing their home, sharing their, um, all of these things. And so the more that is taking place, the more there is one-on-one help that is happening. These agencies aren't going to be required because people aren't going to require this kind of assistance because they're going to become open to receiving help. They're going to be open to giving help. And in the past, these agencies weren't there because there was more um, help from individuals, and so it wasn't really required. But then people started becoming more afraid and more isolated and things of that nature, and so then these agencies manifested because people required that. And so now people are not requiring that, and so these agencies are going to become the first word that we come across is extinct. There's a lower vibration word called defunct. We're not really a fan of that word. That word, defunct, has a lot of anger associated with it. Defunct has we don't even really know what to do with that word. The vibration of it is like so low. It's just about all the anger about people wanting to. It's all about that vibration about defunding the police and all of that. And we're not about any of that kind of vibration. We are saying that it's not going to be required because the world is stepping up for itself. And when the world steps up for itself, a lot of these things are not really going to be required. There's not going to be eventually there is not going to be a requirement for police. There's not going to be a requirement for major governments. We're not saying this is something that is happening in the next 5 or 10 years. We're talking about over the span of like 200, 300 years that there's, people want world peace. People want, they don't want these barriers. They don't want these walls between countries. They just want to be. And there is a higher vibration that is, the more people that put that vibration out, the more that is going to happen. And so there is currently resistance to this. However, the more that vibration is being offered, the more it's going to manifest. And so over time, and this is because there are more people being born that are of a higher vibration, that are not taking on the anger vibration of the planet. The anger vibration of the planet is leaving, and then there's newer it's not newer people, but people coming to the planet that are not, because the anger vibration is leaving. There's the new people being born are not being susceptible to that, and because they're not susceptible to that, they're not susceptible to the fear that is on the planet, so they're more open to interconnectedness, if you will. And so the new people coming to the planet are not going to require the walls, they're not going to require the borders, they're not going to require this big military type government and the nuclear weapons and whatever. The whole aura of the planet, is shifting. The word that we are finding for this, you call it that you have been living on this big blue marble. And blue is a color of healing. Green is a color of creation. And so, don't you think it's interesting that if you look at your planet from a distance, from space, there is a lot of blues and greens, right? That is the color of life, right? So, not muddy gray colors, not muddy colors in general. It's like vibrant browns, like a lot of like vibrant colors. And so the whole vibration of the planet is moving into a more blue and green color. We want you to be aware that telepathy is a real thing. There are people on your planet that experience telepathy. And the more people are open, the more people, or the less people are afraid, the more there will be telepathy. Telepathy is a natural thing. It is really how spirit, it is really how we speak to each other. A spirit speaks to each other. We don't require words. Words are very inhibiting. Edward is being made aware that in the tarot deck there's a card, the Devil card, which he uses for limitations and restrictions, self-imposed limitations and restrictions. And the human race has limited themselves, inhibited themselves, self-imposed limitations and restrictions to telepathy. However, as we're moving forward in time, over the course of the next 200-300 years, you're going to be seeing more people who are telepathic. Edward is telepathic. He doesn't tell people that very much, but he is. He can see the way that people are thinking, and if other people are also telepathic and open, then he can hear the words that they are saying. So it is a very real thing that is happening on your planet. And this is not to say that you have to freak out, you don't have to be afraid, you don't have to be any of that. If you already experience fear of letting people in, then nobody is going to be able to read your mind anyway. So it's not something that, if you are that kind of person, then you don't have to worry about it. So if you are somebody that has a higher vibration and are open to receiving help and open to communicating with each other, then more of that will probably be happening with you, for you, etc. So this is the message that we have for today. Thank you for receiving us. We will return on a different day with further information. Peace to all of you.